Okay, so gravy is one of those tricky things. Although there is a recipe to it, this is really, there's a lot of nuance and feel involved here and just kind of adjusting on the fly. So here's what we got. We got the fat, skimmed off from the pan. These are my drippings. I'm just kind of keeping warm here. I've got a quart of chicken stock. That's going to be kind of the bulk of my gravy. We've got some butter and some flour. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is make a roux here. We're going to use the fat that we skimmed off. I'm going to add some butter to it because there's not enough. So I'm going to add about half a stick of butter to this one. Turn my heat up and kind of get that melting and doing its thing. And we're just going to kind of make a roux here with this fat. And the butter is going to add kind of a nice velvety richness to it. The best way I know to separate the fat and the drippings is really just to kind of, if you've got one of those awesome fat separators, it's a kind of a little tea kettle kind of thing, just a kettle, but you pour all the juices into it, and then the fat rises to the top, and the spigot is at the bottom. And so when you pour, all you're pouring off is all the juices, and the fat stays on the top. So that's how you separate the two. Or you can just skim it off with a spoon if you're going old school and it takes a while. All right, so we got that butter melted into the fat. We're gonna add, I'm gonna go with like probably a quarter cup of flour to begin with. And again, this is really just based on feel. You wanna kind of whisk that together pretty well just to make sure this is where the lumpy gravy comes from. If you don't get this incorporated together, you're gonna get lumps. I'm gonna add a little more flour into this. So it's kind of a thick paste. And we'll add our drippings into that. There we go. And then we'll add our chicken stock. Whisk that together. And we'll bring that up to a boil. And while this is coming to a boil, I'll usually kind of just give it a taste. Right now it might taste a little floury because the roux hasn't quite cooked off and it hasn't come together. I'm going to add just a little bit of pepper to that. Just a pinch of salt. And as that comes to a boil, that's going to thicken up. If you can't, like if you didn't add enough flour to the roux and you need to thicken it even further, don't add flour directly to this. What you want to do is make a flour water mixture. That'll keep you from getting lumps. If you just add water directly to this, it's going to end up lumpy. All right, so I'm just gonna let this simmer just for another maybe 5 minutes, just so the flavors kind of come together. It'll thicken up just a little bit more. Right now it's just slightly thinner than I want, but that's, again, just simmering it for a minute. That's gonna get it right to the consistency that I want, and that's a delicious gravy. Good. So, turkey gravy. Savor the day.